Hi, my name is Tom Jallow. I'm with Softing, and today we're going to be showing how to test MPO 12-strand fiber orientations in a couple different ways. So let me show you around what we have first. First off, we have a 12-strand MPO MTP OM3 fiber trunk connected to a couple 12-strand fiber fan-outs to LC Hydra cables. Okay, and that's on either side. So this would be like an MDF to IDF application, or any type of application where you're going from a 12-strand to 2-strand setups. Okay, we're going to be using FiberXpert 4500, FiberXpert 5000 to test a few different ways and show the individual 12-strand length as well as the full length from 2-strand to the other 2-strand end tested in full. Okay, so why would you do this type of testing? Well, MPO fiber, 12-strand fiber OM3 can carry large amounts of data, but what you get after testing with FiberXpert and FiberXpert is you're going to have a very good idea of exactly what's going on in that fiber. You're going to have the events from the OTDR trace of every connection. You're going to have loss, reflectance, okay, from the OTDR trace as well. And then when you back that up with the FiberXpert 4500 2-strand test, you're going to have a Tier 1 certification report for both 850 and 1300 for the total loss on that link. And those two tests done on the same fiber is a really good way to have a full understanding of what that fiber can do and what it cannot do. Okay, so our setup that we have is we have a 12-strand MPO trunk cable. It's laying in that tray that's on top, and you can see it coming out here. We actually have a couple of them, but we're only going to be testing one in today's setup. And that 12-strand terminates to this faceplate. Okay. This faceplate then connects to this Hydra cable, so this is a 12-pin or 12-fiber MPO cable. Comes out and then fans out again to this patch panel where we have 12 individual LC connectors. So this is the front of the cable we'll be testing. On the same side, on the back side, I should say, the back side we have the same setup where we're coming out of a 12-strand connector, okay, going to another fan-out cable on this side, and then 12 individual LC connectors here where we'll be testing. Now we're going to be connecting to both sides of this cable to test. When we're testing with the FiberXpert, we're going to be connecting a 500-foot launch cable to the front side of that link, and then on the back side of that link on the same fiber that's being tested, we're going to connect another 500-foot launch cable, but this, I guess we'll call it a tail cord on this side, so that we can have good vision of the last connector in the link. Okay, we want to be able to see the loss, reflectance, everything on that last link. Okay, we'll be testing each of the fibers in this trunk, in this link, in both directions with the OTDR. So we'll perform a trace in one direction, we'll do all 12, and then we'll go to the opposite side and test all 12 fibers again from the opposite direction. Okay, we'll compile all that data. After we've done that, we'll take a look at the same fibers with our FiberXpert 4500. We'll be connecting to 2 fibers at a time and do a Tier 1 test on 2 fibers at a time with a bidirectional test setup. Okay, so our test rig today with the FiberXpert 5000, let's talk about how we're using the OTDR and what we're using with it to be able to capture the information that we're after. I have the FiberXpert 5000. We only have that in one variety. We feel that that has everything you need to be able to do this type of testing. It has both multi-mode and single mode capabilities. I'm connected to the back of the FiberXpert 5000 with our OM3 launch cable. Okay. I also have an inspection scope that I'm running out of the USB on the OTDR. And we're also connected to the OTDR with a network cable and going into our network here in the office. Okay. At my PC, I'm running VNC Viewer. And this is a nice bonus as far as functionality of the OTDR. What that's allowing me to do is drive and monitor everything that's happening on the OTDR with my PC. So I have a mouse on my PC, I have a full QWERTY keypad that I can type in labels and change the setup of the OTDR through my PC or the OTDR itself. So it's nice and adds a little ease of or added accessibility to the OTDR. Okay, so we mentioned, we have a launch cable 500 feet or so on the front side of the fiber we're testing. And on the back side of the fiber, we also have another 500 feet of launch cable. I have cleaned and inspected everything. That is of utmost importance when you're testing any fiber arrangement. Just to show you how I have done that at each connection, I'll pull in the scope. I can go to the scope functionality of the OTDR. And let's just take a look at the end of this launch cable to see what kind of condition it is in. And you can see here it looks pretty clean. We've done that for each connection in this fiber optic link. If we have to clean anything, we just bring in cleaning tools and we can do that. We've got a number of cleaning tools on hand to be able to clean each interface and make sure that they're not adding any loss or issues to our fiber optic link. Okay. All right. So I'll be bringing this in and just connecting to the patch panel over here. Like so. And then on the back side of this link, I'll be doing the same thing with tail cord, like so. Now, the actual test has been configured to test to 568.3 standards. And we're looking at both 850 and 1300 wavelengths. And I've already got a labeling scheme that shows everything I want to in detail. We're testing at this moment, we're testing from the IDF side to the MDF side. We've got about a 20-second acquisition time on each wavelength here, long enough, we're not rushed here, long enough to kind of get the information we need to see at both wavelengths. And remember, we're running both wavelengths on each test, so 850 and 1300 data are coming into the OTDR. All right, we've completed a trace, and you can see that the events are clearly defined. We're passing to 568.3 standards. Loss is acceptable at each of those events. You can see the tail cord. You can see the connectors for the MPO. They have higher higher reflectance values than the LC connectors, but all typical. Now we can save this result by simply choosing Fast Report, and I confirm that the label is what I want it to be. The values here are what I expect. I'm just going to save this test result. And we're saved. Okay, so one other feature that we can look at, the OTDR has ran a trace on one of the fibers here. We've been looking at this in the trace view. Well, we can also look at this in a smart link view. The information has been gathered. I see both 850 and 1300 information overlaid in trace view here. I've got an event table down here. I can look at this in a smart link view as well. So let's look at that, and you can see clearly here it's mapped out launch cable on the near side, tail cord on the far side. Here's our fan out on the near side, fan out on the far side, and the 12 strand fiber in the middle. Clear way to see exactly what we have, and we can pull loss, reflection, everything off of each event as well. In summary, what we have done is we are testing each strand of the fiber link with the OTDR FiberXpert 5000. We're going to be testing at both wavelengths. We've tested for loss, reflectance at each event. We'll be able to see that clearly defined in the reports. This will be handy when we compare it to any other type of test, Tier 1 test, especially because you'll be able to see event loss as well as the total loss on the link that you'll get with the Tier 1 test.